everybody, I filmed this look for you today. I wanted to do something that was like summery, sexy, glamorous, but super easy. So let's get right into it. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Alrighty, so starting out with the Maybelline Express Brow Ultra Slim Pencil. I only got this one because they didn't have the L'Oreal Brow Stylist Definer. And then I will be using the P. Louise Eye Base. I've grown my eyebrows in a touch. Well, I was in this video in the process of growing them in. They're pretty much fully grown into how I wanted them now. Just a bit thicker than previously. And then for eyeshadow, I'm going to be using the Jeffree Star Cosmetics Orgy palette, the Star Wedding palette, the Jeffree Star Cosmetics Crystal Joint Eye Gloss powder, as well as the Wet n Wild Hello Kitty Precious Shimmer Liquid Eyeliner and the Wet n Wild Hello Kitty Be Kind Eye and Face palette. And so there's a lot of products, but it isn't a super hard look. I apologize for the fans in the background, by the way. I have two wind machines going because my room gets exponentially hotter than the rest of the house. So anyway, I'm going in with Jeffree Star Bottom right now from the Orgy palette, and I'm just going to be defining the crease and using that to kind of build in a transitional color. Very easy, very effortless to just chuck that on, blend it out. If you're not familiar with blending eyeshadow, I could always do a video on that if you wish, but that is totally up to you if it is requested or not. Then I go in and I deepen that up with Orgy from Jeffree Star, from the Orgy palette, and I'm just using that tighter to the layers line and the outer corner of the lid, so I progressively get darker as I go down towards the layers line. And then I'll use I'm closest to, and I just build that up in the crease, making sure we have a nice depth. I wanted something, like I said, dramatic, glamorous, and using the Wet n Wild Hello Kitty Be Kind Eye and Face palette, I'm using the color 1. And then I will blend that color in with the rest of the eyeshadow. And it's just a game of continuously building that darker color to make sure that it has the nice depth that I want and that smokiness that I want. For the black, I used Tuxedo Black from the Star Wedding palette. And that's just the color that I'm using there, that I just used in like the outer V area, so just along the top of my lash line, and then into my crease just a touch, and then just blending that out, but not blending it out as much as I did the other colors. Really making sure that that's nice and soft. And building that black up towards the center of the eyelid, and then just patting those, blending them together, and then putting that eyeglass powder on top of it, curling the layers, and then using Benefit Roller Lash Mascara. This is just to darken the lashes, honestly, because I was using a very, very dark, very, very big lashes. So for eyeliner as well too, I use the Gothic Beach Proof eyeliner. I forgot to mention that. And getting some huge lashes on there, cleaning up the under eye. Also, I did use the color I'm Shy on my brow bone. just to lighten that up a touch. And that's that eyeglass powder that I mentioned, further brightening up the inner corner. I was loving how this look turned out. And then just using, you can see the difference between the two when you use a brow bone color and when you don't. You don't have to use a brow bone color. I just think it brings a nice dimension. And like I said, you're just layering on the color, putting it on, blending it out. Then the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer, and then I'll go in with the Juvia's Place I Am Magic Concealer. For the white color that I'll be using for concealer, I'll be using the Jeffree Star Magic Star Concealer. Then I'll be using the L'Oreal True Match Lumi Foundation. So I'll use the Juvia's Place, then the L'Oreal, then the Jeffree Star. I did want something super, super full coverage. So that's why I used so much. Normally I wouldn't, but I did. Had to cover the red mark from my glazes too. Just making sure you apply that everywhere. Now what I'll do is I'll use the brush to apply the foundation all over the face, making sure it's evenly distributed, and then I'll go back over it with a sponge to give it a more skin-like appearance, as well as blend it in and kind of take off any excess. I just like to do it with the brush first to make sure that it is... I find when you put it on the sponge and then pounce it on your face, you tend to get a bit less of a consistent coverage. So that's why I go ahead and I do this with the brush and then over top of it with the sponge. For blush, I used the YSL 57 Make Me Blush powder, or I'm sorry, that was at the end. For liquid blush, I used the P. Louise Coral Morals liquid blush. This is that white Magic Star concealer. I love a super stark white under eye. And then applying that P. Louise Coral Morals liquid blush is really so beautiful. I love that color. I did forget to do liquid bronzer, or cream bronzer, before I went ahead and set my face. So I ended up doing that after, and it turned out okay. And I did put tons of liquid blush on. Because with the powder and everything that I put over top of it, it does dissipate quite a bit. So having that brightness right now in the liquid stage makes for a better looking blush in the end because of all the powders I put on. At least in my opinion. Blending that in and making sure that that is all good to go. Then I set with the MAC Studio Fix powder. I used the white color under my eyes. I think I went ahead and used a bit more of the white concealer though, if I'm not mistaken, to really make sure that that under eye was as bright as possible. Yes. And I wanted to make sure that the blush didn't travel too far in to the inner corner, which can happen sometimes, which is no big deal. Love how that looks. Then, like I mentioned, setting with the MAC Studio Fix powder, I use the white color under my eyes, and I use my skin color on the rest of the face. Has anyone used the reformulated Studio Fix powder? Is it still good? I haven't used it. These are all very, very old from my makeup kit from when I worked full-time as a makeup artist. So this is that cream bronzer. This is the Makeup Revolution Ultra Cream Bronzer in the color Light. Love this. And then I'll go over everything and I'll set it with the Makeup Revolution Luxury Baking Powder, which I really like as well. It gives a soft look to the face. And just really making sure that everything is nice and set. Then I'll go ahead and I will brush that all off. And that's when I went ahead and used the YSL 57 Make Me Blush Powder Blush and the Lottie London Suncatcher Sunkissed Coconut Scented Bronzer. I use that along the perimeter of my face. Just making sure I dust off all of that loose powder. And reinforcing that white under eye as well too. That's that blush. That's my favorite blush that was sent to me by YSL, and I love it. You definitely do not need to spend that much though, because a blush is a blush, I think, honestly. But I think that about a lot of makeup products. So just bronzing up the perimeter of the face, making sure it doesn't look like a masses. And for highlighter, I went a little crazy. I used the Jeffree Star Cosmetics Diamond Wet Supreme Frost. Then I used the Danessa Myricks Enlight Halo in Ice, and I found it to be a bit stark with this blush. So I went ahead and I used the KayK Cosmetics Peach Petals Glow Dust. This I don't think is around anymore, and I don't think it's been around for many years. I'm not sure. All I know is every time I use it, people are like, "Where'd you get that? Where'd you get that?" And that is where I got it. It's a loose highlighter, and it is peach. And it's beautiful. That's the Creme Shop and Hello Kitty Makeup Perfecting Mist. And as you can see, I said I want to wear highlighter. And when I say highlighter, I mean highlighter. Loved how it looked. Then for lips, super easy. I used the Charlotte Tilbury Lip Cheat Pillow Talk Lip Liner and then the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Lipstick. Very easy. Love this lip color. Really good quality stuff too. These were gifted by my mom. I don't know that I would spend that much money on a lipstick. And then I used the Urban Decay Whiskey Eyeliner. And just use some of the shadows on the bottom, and then the Wet n Wild Hello Kitty Precious Shimmer Liquid Eyeliner on the bottom ledge line on the very inner corner. And that's it. Thanks for watching. Bye.